Rome Police and Fire Commission to order for September 12th, 2022 at 4 o'clock p.m. Roll call, starting on my right.
Giardino.
Pinkowski.
Baker. Commissioners Baining and Beck were excused. Also present is Town Administrator Jamie Gebert, Police Chief Jason Lobby, and Fire Chief Mark Kane. Item number 3 is to certify the posting of the meeting. This meeting was posted by Greg Baining on September 7th, 2022. He was faxed to the Tribune at 11 o'clock a.m. On September 9th, 2022 at 9:10 a.m., it was posted at Rome Town Hall, Rome Police Department, Rome Fire Department. At 9:15, it was posted at Quick Trip, and at 9:21, it was posted at Nakusa Port Edward State Bank. Item number 4 is to approve the agenda. Is there a motion?
I motion.
Second.
Motion by Vito, second by Bob. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We don't have any citizen comments. Jamie, you don't have any cards or anything, do you?
Nope.
Okay, then we're gonna move on to item number, or the section marked no action contemplated except possible referral to future agendas. Item number 6, informational updates, meeting recaps, recent correspondence, current events, and announcements. Does anybody have anything that they need to announce or bring forward?
The only thing I would share is if you didn't already get notice about brush and timber pickup, there's a flyer here with the dates. So please share widely.
Okay. And then item 6A then would be the police department report, Chief Lobby.
In August, I attended staff and Adams County traffic safety meetings. Officer Sis completed arson investigation training through the Department of Justice. 169 calls for service, 75 citations, 23 written warnings. Boat Patrol had 55 hours of patrol with 2 citations. As we enter the fall, I'd remind residents to keep a watchful eye on your neighboring properties that may be seasonal. If you see any suspicious activity, please report it to the PD immediately. Routine maintenance was done to the fleet in August. We do have one of the Chargers at the Dodge dealer, Johnson and Sons, with a warranty engine issue. So I think that happened into September, but I'll report it now. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Give you a chance to look over the calls for service and stuff. See if anybody has any questions for the police chief.
Was the boating crash on Lake Arrowhead, Chief? August 8th.
First page, boating crash.
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but they had a couple of them where people bumped into each other. Actually, I think that might have been our patrol boat. A boat they bumped together while they were making contact, and I put a mark on it so it's reportable.
Nothing major. I was thinking if-
No, there was one, I was thinking the one on Camelot, somebody backed out in the channel and, slow speed backed into another boat as well.
Thank you.
Why, I'm looking at page 2, the fireworks complaint, like the 5th thing down. It says in Artdale. D Street, right here, D Street and G Street in Artdale.
I imagine that wasn't assigned to us. I imagine that's a dispatching error where
I
it
would-
pulled our number.
Okay,
Because this report's sorted by our numbers, so if the caller said Archer, they made a mistake entering it.
okay. Gotcha. Any other questions for Jason, from anybody?
Looks like you've had a busy month.
Yeah, hopefully things will start to quiet down a little bit now that major holidays are all over with. Okay. Then we will move on to 6B, the fire department report. Chief Kane.
For the months of July and August, the total of 35 calls. We had 8 fire calls, 13 EMS, 3 hazardous conditions, 7 service calls, 2 disregard or standbys, and 2 false alarms. The staffing is down to 23 members. We've had 3 members move out of the area in the last 2 months. But on the positive side of that, we just had a couple of folks come in and put in applications, and we're working through that review process as we speak. Our trainings in July and August included pumping and drafting. We put our new SCBA's into service, and our ultra high pressure unit reviews with car fire training with that. Our monthly meetings, business meetings were held, and I've attended meetings with the Rome Town Board, Sam Valley staff, town administrator, Adams County Mavis, Adams County Emergency Management, and Mid-State Technical College. Fire classes began at Mid-State in August. We have 1 member going to be attending a fire inspection class in October for basic fire inspection, and 1 attended rapid intervention training through Mid-State. We'll be hosting an auto extrication class this Saturday at the training site near the transfer site. If anybody would care to stop in and take a look at that, we'll be there from 7:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the afternoon. We have about 20 cars that have been brought in from Neiman's Towing, and have instructors coming up from Northern Illinois taking care of that class. All routine maintenance and inspections were performed on the trucks, and commercial fire inspections are well underway, and short-term rental inspections continue for our new applicants. On August 29th, we received a letter from the Insurance Service Office. And that letter was the findings regarding our public protection classification rating, for our fire department and our coverage area. They've determined that our new ISO rating would be a 4/10, 4 being every property within a 5-mile radius of the fire stations. And by their regulations, any property outside of that 5-mile radius is automatically a 10, regardless of what we can provide by the fire department. That is an improvement over our former number, and is good news for our entire community.
Chief is gonna talk more about that on Thursday at Town Board too, if anyone wants to come to that presentation. And I would mention, did everyone see on the news that Neiman's Towing got
Towman of the Year.
Towman of the Year?
It's a national honor by the National Towman's Association or something like that. So he'll be going out to Baltimore to accept that award.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice. They said several of the area fire chiefs provided letters.
There was 9 fire chiefs that submitted his nomination.
Okay. Questions for Chief Kane?
You may have said this once before, but is SCBA in service, what is that?
That is our self-contained breathing apparatus. So it's the air packs that we wear on our back, and then the mask that goes over our face, so we can go into those conditions that are immediately dangerous to life or health.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the fire chief?
Is there any, what can I say, the fire hazard properties, is pretty well under control, or?
We have done a great job over the past few years of identifying the areas that were of higher fire risk. With help from the town intern and the zoning department this year, the entire town was surveyed for wildfire risk. And our commercial inspections over the last few years have really narrowed down any of the commercial properties that had ongoing issues,
and we have gotten to almost 100% compliance. And I did miss that on 9/20, Monday night, 26th of September, the fire department will be doing demonstrations at the training site for any police and fire commission members, board members, or members of the public who wish to come attend. We'll be demonstrating our ultra-high pressure suppression unit and the setup of a typical structure fire when we don't have a hydrant to hook to.
That's the 26th?
Correct.
What time?
6 p.m.
That's by the dump?
It is by the transfer site.
Will we do just an abbreviated agenda for that? We'll have to post a quorum notice, but should we do just an abbreviated agenda for that evening?
You don't have to do it on my part, but,
Yeah, just
Yeah.
we could list, the items that would be just demonstrated, just to be posted online, I think would be helpful. I would assume it might be a good opportunity to invite anyone,
Public.
potential people that might have interest in the fire department too, right? Cause they could see this items in action.
What are you gonna be demonstrating there?
We will do a live fire demonstration, very similar to what we did when we brought out that new ultra high pressure system. So
Car
we'll
fire.
light a car on fire, and our crew will put it out. From their initial arrival to extinguishment, we'll run through that, and then the structure fire setup. We won't actually have a structure fire going. We'll identify where our fire is at. The crew will come in, set up their water supply, attack lines, and be able to spray water at the simulated fire, just so we can demonstrate what it takes to be able to supply water into a non-hydrated area.
Now, if we get a day like today,
We're doing it anyway.
you're gonna do it? Really?
We don't get to pick the weather we fight the fires in.
Okay, just asking.
I know at one point we were gonna get some type of demonstration on was it the Lucas chest compression machine?
We could build a Lucas right into that same night.
If you could, do you have the ambulance stand by while you're doing this training?
I will make sure that happens for that night.
Okay, and I'm assuming if it's inclement weather, would they do it inside the ambulance with the chest compression machine?
We can do that.
Okay, because I'd be interested in seeing that. It sounds like a really helpful piece of equipment.
And you'll have the SCBA's, I mean, you'll be able to see them, they're fitted, so it's not like we would, but you'd be able
Yeah,
to.
we wouldn't. The masks are assigned to each individual person has their own mask. The backpacks themselves, if you want to try them on, we can make that happen just so you get a feel of what they're wearing. And then we can explain some of the technology that's went into these new ones that were just purchased.
Chief, if they're able, do you wanna just have a squad out there too, and they can look in a squad? Yeah. I mean, with all of it, obviously, if there's a call, then
Yep.
we have to reallocate, but
Okay. Any other questions for the fire chief? Okay, item number 7 is discussion only, items not needing any action or contemplating any action, and that, there's nothing there to speak about. The next section is discuss and possible action on the following items. Number 8, approval of the July 11th, 2022 meeting minutes. Everybody should have gotten them either electronically or a paper copy.
I will move to approve as presented.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right, motion by Bob, second by Vito to approve the minutes as presented. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, then all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 9, any agenda items which may include action expressly state that the action may be taken or contemplated. Under 9A, old business, there's nothing to report there. Under new business, discussion on an open house to demonstrate new fire department equipment to the town board and the police and fire commission. I think Chief Kane just explained that. It's gonna be on Monday, September 26th at 6 PM at the transfer site where their burn building is. And the public would be invited if you would like to see how this equipment works as well,
Or interested in joining the fire department.
or interested in joining the fire department. This is not just for those mentioned on town board or police and fire commission. And the next item was the boat patrol numbers for the summer season. I don't think you have, do you have a total on those yet, Jason?
A draft total, so
Okay.
they patrolled 327 hours, issued 31 citations, 25 written warnings.
I better write this down. One more time, how many hours?
327 hours,
Okay,
31 citations, 25 written warnings.
and the boat patrol then has ended their season, correct, after the
Yes.
Labor Day weekend? Okay. Do you wanna just mention then how how it gets submitted to the DNR and what happens there?
There's a yearly audit, so the DNR will decide when our audit's gonna be, and then the information that I just read to you, along with a lot more, like a copy of each ticket that was issued has to be presented at that audit. There's also obviously the dollars and cents, which Sergeant Upton's not finished with that. There's a depreciation of the new boat wages, equipment that was purchased, and so all that gets put on a claim form. That form's submitted to the DNR. DNR reimburses the town for up to 75% of that.
Okay, any questions on anything Jason had to bring forward?
Is it a different percentage depending on, like, if it's wages, is it a certain percent, or if it's equipment, is it a certain percent, or it's just across the?
The percent changes, there's a pool of money that's allotted by the state, and so the percentage of reimbursement depends on how many claims were submitted against that pool.
Got it.
Okay, any other questions? All right, hearing none, then the next section on the agenda is for dates and items for future agenda meetings. Number 10 is next agenda items. Does anybody have anything at this point that they would like to see? Obviously, I'm gonna put down, I'm interested in the fire department staffing, to see if the chief's numbers are up or down, or anything else that,
You'll have to put, SIS's
probation, or,
probation, that was supposed to go on this one, but it must have.
Okay.
got overlooked. It ended September 8th.
okay, then,
Will you have a final for the boat patrol by that time, chief, or in 2 months or no?
Likely, yes.
Okay.
It just depends. I guess I shouldn't say that. It depends how many of those tickets are pending in court, because they ask us what happens with the tickets that were
Okay.
written for our final report.
okay,
Usually the audit's in December, so we have the final number by January of '23, usually after the DNR reviews it.
so are you looking for something other than the 327 hours and 31
Well,
citations?
it doesn't get the final till December, then let's just wait till,
That's when you'll find out what your reimbursement is, probably?
In January, usually. The audit is scheduled in December, and like a couple weeks after the audit, the recreational safety warden gives us a report on how much of our expenses were approved, and this would be early next year.
Any other items you'd like to see on the next agenda? Okay, then item number 12, or item number 11 is the next meeting date and time. Now, let's skip number 11, move on to number 12. The commission to adjourn into closed session. I'm asking that we move that closed session either to a special meeting date or to our next regular PFC date. I'm kind of leaning towards having a meeting in October, one of the Mondays in October, so that we can figure out what's gonna happen here. Bob, do you have anything that you're aware of
What, depends on what
Okay,
October date it is.
okay, let me look here. How about the first Monday in October, October 3rd?
I think I have a conflict.
Okay. How about, let me check here. 10th, that's no good for me. How about the 17th? That's a Monday. 9 o'clock in the morning,
Sure, yeah, okay.
okay? Then we're gonna move the closed session then to October 17th at 9 AM. Jason, you don't have to be here for that. So that will be our next meeting date and time, will be October 17th at 9 AM. And after that, we can pick a date for, or unless we just go to the second Monday in November, which is typically, that'd be November 14th. And we could schedule that right away.
9 o'clock?
November 14th at 9 AM for the regular PFC meeting.
Okay.
I won't be here for that one.
Okay. Is there a chance that you could have whoever your day shift person is, or Sergeant Upton possibly?
Whoever the day shift is, if they're not on
Okay,
call, 'cause
sure.
I'm on
That'd be great.
vacation that day.
Okay, that'd be great if they could do that. So we have our next meeting date and time for both meetings. Anything else anybody needs to discuss? Then hearing nothing, then I will adjourn the meeting at 4:23 PM.